Welcome back, folks, and welcome to the Don Rowe Doctrine. Woo! It has been quite a week as our president has launched a military operation into Venezuela. I have to say, just like was the case in Iran, our military is awesome. I
Awesome.
mean, the
And
fact
we
that
should thank them, Dave. We should thank them because they are really
absolutely
awesome.
I am
You better thank them. You might get
so
court-martialed if you don't.
proud of our military. I am so grateful. The fact that they could go in, extract the Maduro and his wife, and not have a single casualty, and that is really amazing. But having said that, a big question is why? I think this thing is kind of nuts because I still haven't really heard a good reason. So I would like to hear from you folks. Why did he do this? Kurt.
You know, it's always easy to take out a leader, as we've learned throughout history. It's what comes next that is what gets everyone in trouble, usually, thinking about our history in Iraq and Afghanistan. Um, when Donald Trump is going out there saying, well, we're going to be running Venezuela for many years, and we're going to give taxpayer finance bailouts to big oil to subsidize them drilling in Venezuela to extract their oil. None of that to me sounds like the deal that they so-called America First people signed up for. I don't think nation building is our thing. We're not really good at it, to be quite honest. And when I look at what's going on here at home, when we have an affordability crisis, I think a lot of people are looking at Donald Trump going, Why are you even there? Why are we doing this right now? We got enough stuff to deal with right here in our backyard, and you're playing in Venezuela, and you're dreaming of purchasing Greenland or giving them, you know, thousands of dollars per citizen to try to buy them off so that they will want to secede from Denmark, I guess. All of that screams your eye is not on the ball. You're completely out of touch from where most Americans are. And I think the old adage, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And so yeah, it's great. You took out the president or the so-called president of Venezuela, kidnapped him, took him to New York. But now what? I mean, how does
We
this end?
didn't kidnap him. I mean, I think that's
Well, when you
we
take someone
arrested him
against their
because he was
will,
a
that's kidnapping, Ashley.
Okay, here's what I think about, which I completely disagree with you, because I think that this is 100% about our long-term national security. Of course, it's because it's for oil, 100% as well, which I agree with. I mean, obviously, what
We're the
Venezuela has
largest oil
done.
producer of the world now. We don't need Venezuelan
We're
oil.
actually we're a net exporter. And by the
But
way,
it's not
if you
because of us needing oil, it's because so they don't get so China, Cuba, and others don't continue to get their oil. I mean,
well, so
this
wait a
is
minute,
like,
you're saying we have to take it over so other people can't get it?
well, our enemies can't get it. Absolutely. And
That's the kind
why
of
wouldn't
cockeyed
we?
reason to do it.
Well,
And
then shouldn't we
it
conquer
drives
Taiwan
me
right now so
crazy.
China does it?
It drives me crazy though that Democrats now are like, "Oh my God, Maduro, like he's such a victim. Like he's like a horrible,
Nobody
horrible
is
human
calling him a
being."
Nobody said
victim.
that. I don't
Nobody's
agree with
saying
that.
he's even legitimate because he's not. What we're
He's
saying
obviously not
is
legitimate. I
going
think it's
in there.
100% the right thing to do. Obviously, I agree with both of you though. Listen, I lived through Iraq from the Bush administration perspective. I lived through Afghanistan. That to me is the hardest part. So what's next? But I don't think our mission and how it was done. And I mean, what was it wrong? We did Panama for the Panama Canal, or do you guys don't think that's right either?
That's apples and oranges because when we went into Panama, we took Noriega out, okay? And we had, first of all, we had much, which is much smaller country. It's 4 million as opposed to 40 million. We had strategic interests as in the Panama Canal, and we just went out and we went and took Noriega out. And right now, what you're doing is we're literally leaving the existing government in power. So the Maduro
Well,
may
I
be
don't
gone.
think that
The
I don't
Maduro
think that
regime lives on, and Delcy Rodriguez, the vice president, I haven't seen any indication that they're willing to do things our way. And so that's the thing. I don't really see what the plan is. There are a lot of
I
desperate
I don't think she
around the
stays
world.
there. long term. I mean, we'll see. Again, I mean, I'm not an expert in, obviously, that in Venezuela, but from everything I've learned from kind of my national security world, that they have to do this in the interim because of the gangs and the military and not overthrowing her. But I mean, do we think we're going to have a free and fair
The
election? I mean,
the
obviously
fact
that's
that
going to be
this
really
is
difficult.
that a succession
We did
plan
have a free
actually
and fair
isn't in
election,
place.
and Trump refuses to put the person, Machado, who won the election in. If this were truly about democracy, he'd say, let's put the
Until
person
she
in
gives
who won the
him
election.
her Nobel Peace Prize. Like that's how
Oh,
you know
come
that
on.
this
That's such
thing.
a Democrat talking point, Kurt.
No,
And
that's
you
the
know
truth.
that.
That's the truth.
No,
You
it's
know
not.
he covets that Nobel Peace Prize more
Well,
than
of
anything
course
in
he
the
covets
world,
Nobel Peace
and
Prize, but I don't think that's why he did
he
this.
wants her coming out to DC, hand and knee, bending down, presenting the Peace Prize, and only then is he willing to recognize her as a potential legitimate
I
leader.
don't think that's the reason. I just don't think he cares about democracy. That's
Well, that's
the
obvious.
reason.
Look what he's done in America. Like the idea
Yeah.
that Donald Trump cares about free and fair elections
Well,
is
what do you
laughable
guys think?
after he pardoned everybody that participated in the attempt to overthrow a free and fair election on American soil.
Go ahead,
By the way,
actually.
we've never talked about what happened in Georgia. I mean, I don't want to go back to that,
Yeah.
but I mean, like,
I bet you
it is
don't,
kind of
Ashley.
amazing some of this stuff that's coming out. Anyway, but listen, I just think that this goes back to Biden wanting to get rid of him, Obama wanting to get rid of him, but President Trump the first time wanting to get rid of him, and no one ever did it. The other thing that I'm 100% fine with is our enemies realize that Donald Trump's not going to be wishy-washy on anything. Listen, I'm not saying everything he does is right. You guys know me better than ever on that topic. However, if you're another country that wants to attack, whatever it is, or one of our allies, are you going to do it?
Well, as it
See,
stopped Putin from trying to
actually,
take
I
over
actually
Ukraine,
think,
and Ukraine's our ally, technically speaking.
well,
So
here's the thing.
Yeah,
Let me
but
just ask you this. When you're talking about our enemies, are you talking about China and Russia? Because if I were China and Russia,
I would say
I'd be keep,
more. I would say more. I mean, China and Russia are on a whole other level in my mind. I mean, that's like World War
when you say
III
our
level. I'm
enemies,
thinking
who are
Syria.
you
I'm
thinking of?
thinking Iran. I'm thinking Cuba. I'm thinking smaller, more
Well,
manageable
Cuba's not
countries.
going to attack anybody, and Iran is pretty hobbled. But I'm glad you brought it up because it really brings up the bigger point, and that is this whole national security strategy that Trump has. And let's put aside the Venezuela thing, because I think you can actually make arguments on both sides. My major concern is that there's no plan, it's chaos. We don't know how long we're going to be there, and the motives are screwy. But you can make arguments either way. But the bigger point is the so called spheres of influence. This new world order that we had for 80 years since World War II has brought a remarkable period of peace and prosperity. And the biggest beneficiary of this order has been us. We set it up for us and it's benefited us the most. This is all being thrown on its head now and basically saying that people can have their spheres of influence and they can pay attention to their neighborhoods. And first of all, we tried that in the 50 years before World War I, and it didn't work out very well. So we have a track record on this. But more than that, it's basically saying to China, well, hey, if we go after Taiwan, who are they to tell us we can't? Russia will feel more emboldened in Ukraine, and it's going to create a huge sense of disorder in the world. Don't you folks? Aren't you a little concerned about that?
Yeah, I
yes,
also believe in peace by strength. I do believe in peace by strength. I mean, I do think that if you're another country and
But
our
he's done
enemies, you're
nothing
going to
about
this
take
isn't a
Donald Trump more
flex.
seriously than you are Joe Biden.
I'm sorry, but it's not a flex to go like, oh look, we took out Venezuela's leader. Like that,
Yeah,
they're not.
picking
They're
on
not.
a
That's
little
not
guy.
the
More
same thing.
importantly,
Like
he does
that's
what he says,
that's
guys. I mean,
diplomatic
like,
bullying. I mean, give me a
I think
break.
we've
Like
been looked at as a joke since Obama never did anything on Syria with the red line.
I think that we've been looked at as a joke since a likely Russian asset who's been compromised was put into 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and he's for the highest bidder, and you got international money flowing into his family's coffers left and right. Like that's what makes us a
Okay, that has
joke.
nothing to do with national security, but go
Well,
ahead.
It has
what
everything to do
worries
with
me
national
though
security, actually, because
is
he
that
would do
I honestly
anything to earn a
I have to
buck.
ask is when Steve Witkoff, who is a joke, some real estate guy, who's been to Russia 6 times. He's never been to Ukraine, by the way. But when he's negotiating, it pains me to have to ask, is he negotiating based on what's best for the American people, or is he negotiating on what's best for the business interests? And that gets back to the whole Venezuelan oil thing, because if you were the head of Chevron, would you really think about, oh yeah, I'm going to spend billions of dollars. I'm going to send thousands of people down to a country where the infrastructure is rotted. It's very unstable. The rebels are still in the hills. It's going to take a minimum of 7 years to get a return on this. I certainly wouldn't do that. Would you?
I also think that I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard a readout from the 2:30 meeting today. I don't know if you guys have. That's the oil exec. From what I've been told, talking to various oil exec worlds, is that the national security aspect, I mean, the security aspect for the companies are the biggest concern, but also getting paid back what, like Exxon, what was it? They still are owed $1 billion. I mean, so there's gonna have to be some sort of arrangement to pay some of those debts, as well as from what I've been told is we're gonna fill back up the strategic reserve.
I
Well,
mean, the
you have
oil
to remember that
executives are
the
saying, I mean,
oil
like,
from I was going to say the oil from Venezuela is very heavy. Okay, and
Yeah,
that
but
is
I
good
asked
for.
this question today, Dave, because I'm like, can you store it in the reserve? Because we have lighter oil in the reserve. And I guess there's different caves. And you can do heavy oil there as well. So I mean, we do need to get that back up.
No, I agree. I have no problem with that. But the oil that comes from Venezuela is good for a lot of U.S. refineries, and 70% of the oil that's being imported, okay, is heavy crude. That's why we still import it, because it's better for refineries. And Canada and Venezuela, like the tar sands, that's the very heavy crude. It's also the most environmentally bad, but not that concerns this administration. But the issue to me is still the of getting it out, the safety, rebuilding the infrastructure. I think that's a tough slog, and Trump would have to use a lot of taxpayer dollars to basically bribe these oil executives to go back down there. And who knows what's going to happen with the country? As Kurt said, it's very easy to depose of a leader, but it's very hard to maintain that. And Trump has even said, "Well, we'll run it as long as we need to." I don't know how long it's going to be, and that to me is a real red flag. He also said that the U.S. and this ability to essentially use our military might as we see fit, and this gets back to the New World Order thing about if might triumphs over right, where does it stop, right? And that's what really concerns me here.
yeah, and also the financial reality of this, as was talked about at today's oil meeting, where the head of ExxonMobil said Venezuela is uninvestable right now. It's going to require specific long-term financial guarantees made by the President of the United States so that big oil will be made whole no matter what. And that means that's going to be funded by the taxpayers. Like, we are literally
Why?
signing up
Why wouldn't it be funded by the oil from Venezuela?
because
But
they
how long is
can't,
it going to take to get? It's going to take
they're
years to
going to
get that
have to
out.
We just
guarantee it
took
up
how many
front.
barrels did we just seize? I mean, that's gonna be
Nothing.
all
That's
profits.
We
nothing.
seized
That's
tankers.
not, it's
Actually, we
No,
nothing.
no,
seized
no. We also
tankers.
seized barrels.
But if you listen to Trump,
Uh,
you
I'm
would think
looking
that
this
it's
up as you
waiting in
guys.
big tanks for us just to unload and ship off. It's not. It's going to take 5 to 7 years before there's a return on this minimum. So that's what I'm saying. Along backing up Kurt's point, is this is a very long term game in a high risk environment, and I just think if you're trying to plan as a CEO, it's a very tough sell unless you get financial security and, frankly, probably boots on the ground to help guard your oil wells and safeguard your employees against being attacked.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at how many barrels we took. There was a big story this week on Monday
Yeah,
and Tuesday.
it's 30 to 60 million barrels. The world consumes 100 million barrels of oil a day. It's a drop in the bucket. It's absolutely not as much as you
I
think it
understand.
is.
I understand that, but okay, why don't we wait and see what comes out of the meeting today
I'm telling
instead
you
of
what came out of the meeting today.
it's
I'm
not
telling
over
you what
yet.
came.
They're still
The me
there.
Trump did a whole presser, and it's all over social media. Like he was asked specifically, did you have to make security guarantees and concessions to oil to even want to invest in this? He's like, yes, they will have all the guarantees they need. Those guarantees
There
are
you
in the form
go.
of American taxpayer dollars. Period. Like
No
it's a
further
bailout for
questions, Your
big
Honor.
oil.
Yep.
I'm reading this.
And that to me is what's really the issue here.